I've never written a script or answered an idea without knowing the final page.
Yeah.
I write the final page first.
Yeah.
Here's the end. It may transition to something else, but here's how this story ends. Now, how do we get there? How do we milk it? How do we tease them? What's the intrigue? What are the other characters' dimensions that play off of this? How does this story affect all others? If you write it from the beginning and you project it out, again, that becomes a thing of it's complicated and it takes on so many different variables that you lose the focus of where you're going. If everything drives to this point, then you know the narrative that you want to tell.
Yeah.
On storytelling, he likes to know where it's going far ahead, like a year and a half ahead, 2.5 years ahead. Because that tells him what he's aiming for, and that lets him know what he builds up the previous chapters. You can sort of see that in the Bloodline storyline, can't you? It looks like they have an ending in mind, even if we don't know it yet. Or it looks like they get to a big payoff every year and a half, and everything else builds really well to that whatever big mile marker is. This is really good script writing.
And for me, it's really interesting because Heyman is such an excellent storyteller. To get any sort of nugget of knowledge or advice is pretty valuable, especially for me and you, Dom. You know, I create these shorter clips, so maybe I'll try to implement that.
Subscribe now. You bury the lead. It's the best.
Anything from such a good storyteller, any kind of nugget is really cool to hear. So, and he says it on the Logan Paul podcast, which is
says it on the Logan Paul podcast. So he's kind of shooting, although you wonder if it's a little bit of a work because Logan Paul is still a heel when he does come into the WWE and perform there. Paul Heyman is phrasing it to Logan Paul like, who's your opponent for WrestleMania 43? Not just WrestleMania 41 and 42. He wants to know at least 18 months out for a story arc for someone whom he thinks could be as prestigious as Logan Paul. He wants to know, in order for him to build Logan Paul's 2025, he has to know where Logan Paul's going in 2026. Real long-term storytelling. I guess this is a luxury you have in modern pro wrestling where guys sign long-term contracts and are there for a while. In the territory days where guys had to barnstorm and move from territory to territory, you didn't have 12-month storylines.
Yeah.
Unless two guys were chasing each other around the territories. You didn't have that. So this is a luxury of the big business that major pro wrestling has become, that they can tie up guys for years with long-term contracts and actually think about it on this kind of scale.
They have to do the long-term stuff as a result of the fact that it's so frequent and it's so, there's a weekly show. There's two at least. I mean, we'll say Netflix or NXT is its own thing, but there's two weekly shows